Hi, I'm Emma Diley, and this here is my soap. It is fall leaves themed because it is yellow and it has a tea tree scent. So right off the bat, I can tell it's a little squishy still, so I guess it is not fully dried. So I will stick a toothpick through it to see exactly how dried it is. So that actually went through without like any force at all. So it's obvious that it's kind of consistent throughout, since, you know, you can feel up front that it is like just a little soft. And the scent of the tea tree has faded, but it is still a little there. And it was in the shape of a hippo, but it does not very much look like a hippo anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and test the pH of my soap. So I will get it just a little wet on the top. I'm gonna dry off my hands real quick, just so that I don't mess it up by grabbing it while my hands are wet. And then I will lay the pH test strip on top of the soap. It's right there. And then go ahead and make sure it's coated so that I can get like an accurate color. Okay, so this is the color of the test strip, which it's kind of in between a 7 with little splotches of the 8, as you can kind of see more so down here where it's a little darker. So this means that my soap is actually basic. So I will go ahead and test a pump of commercial hand soap. I'll just put it in my hand here. And then we'll grab this pH test strip. It kind of has a little orangish tint. I'm gonna rinse that out of my hand. So I would say this is kind of close to maybe a 5. So the commercial hand soap is a little bit more acidic than my soap that I made. So now that we have done that, we can go ahead and test how well the soap cleans. I'm gonna make sure my hands are nice and dry, and then ground up some charcoal here, this charcoal brick, and I will use that as like synthetic dirt. I'm gonna coat my hand in it. And now I'll coat this hand. Make sure I get my wrists. So, as you can see, my hand's sufficiently dirty. And so is the sink a little bit, but I've got to with water. So for this, I'm just going to start rubbing the soap with cold water on my hands. And without adding any water, you can see it's turning a little gray because it's going onto the soap. It's more transparent. And that. Soap's really slippery. And it's kind of taking the dirt off, but it's taking a little bit of definite scrubbing on my end. So there's just like a little bit of progress on this hand, still on the wrist and the back of the hand, but I'm going to start working on this one because it has a lot more dirt than the other one. And then there we go. So this is actually a kind of nice soap. It's taking a little bit to get all of the dirt off of me. But that's just because it's kind of transferring onto the soap, which is probably because it's just a bar soap. So I'm almost as clean as I can get with this soap. Just a couple more seconds. And there we go. So these are my hands after using, a little bit there. These are my hands after using the bar soap. They're not completely clean, but they are a lot cleaner than they were. I still have a couple scratches there. I guess I did not scrub hard enough with that soap. So I'm going to dry off my hands real quick. So my hands just kind of feel like I used a lot of soap. They're a little dry. But overall they feel pretty clean, so that's definitely good. That's definitely something you want for a soap. And I would say that my soap kind of came out as expected. You know, I didn't expect for it to fully adhere to the mold and look like the little hippo mold, but I kind of liked this soap. It got my hands clean for sure. Definitely way cleaner than they would have been had I not used any soap. But it's not very scented, which is definitely a downside because I thought I added a lot of the tea tree essential oils, but it only has a very faint scent that you wouldn't really notice unless you really knew what the soap was made out of. So I don't know if I would buy this if it were in a store. Just, it does not have a great color to it. It's like a weird faded yellow. And it definitely took a lot of work to clean the charcoal off of my hands as opposed to using any other soap. So in some ways it was expected, other ways it wasn't. I kind of expected it to like be a little bit easier to clean my hands with it, but it is overall a pretty good soap. So I do like the theme a lot though. I think if it was a little bit more pigmented and a little bit more scented, I probably would invest in this soap just because I like the theme of the fall trees. I think the combination of the tea tree scent and the yellow color really made this soap nice.